On this episode of Cox Connections, since 1982, the Union Mission has been meeting the physical, emotional, and spiritual needs of the poor and homeless in our area. We'll learn about the organization's newest plans for helping our community today. Also, supporting our military service persons and their families is something the USO of Hampton Roads has been doing for over 30 years. Today, we'll find out how they lift the spirits of America's troops and their families. And at Lake Taylor High School, 10 students participated in an intensive storytelling workshop about bullying, prejudice, and discrimination. We'll see just how these students helped promote tolerance, respect, and acceptance. Stay tuned, Cox Connections is next. Hello, and welcome to Cox Connections. I'm your host, Emma Inman, Director of Public Affairs for Cox, Virginia. Did you know that the fastest growing population of the homeless today is single-parent, female-headed families? This group comprises at least 40% of the homeless in large metropolitan areas. The Union Mission Ministries in Hampton Roads is dedicated to sheltering our homeless, aiding the poor, and feeding the hungry. Here today to tell us about the Union Mission Ministries and their exciting plans for expansion is Public Relations Director Linda Jones. Linda, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Thank you. The best way for people to understand exactly what the Union Mission Ministries does is to explain your slogan. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, our slogan is food, clothing, shelter, and so much more. And obviously, as a homeless shelter, we provide food and clothing and showers and toiletries and a place for people to sleep. But the and so much more is the important part, because people come to us with a variety of needs and issues, and our goal is to help them not just get out of homelessness, but to help them to stay out of homelessness. To help meet those needs, we provide case management with job and life skills training, things like computer skills. We have a culinary arts program. We teach budgeting and finance, parenting skills, all types of skills, interviewing, how to write a resume, how to dress for success, all the things that people need to help them get better jobs and to better take care of themselves and their families.
That's terrific. Aside from the regular programs, you're in the process of completing your new men's shelter, right?
Yes, we are. Every night of the year, we sleep men on our lobby floors. And recently, especially with the cold weather upon us, we're sleeping 115 to 120 men on mats on the floor for lack of bed space. Wow. And yes, it's unfortunate. And yet, it's a place out of the cold and out of the someplace safe. And so we realized a few years ago the need for a new shelter. And so we're in the process of completing a new men's shelter that's due to be completed the end of March 2015. We're hoping to do a dedication in April and then open the doors for the shelter. And at that time, we'll have about 300 beds. We'll have more classroom space. We'll have a larger dining room. Right now we have to serve meals in shifts, and we'll have a chapel. And so no one will have to sleep on the floor any longer. That's our goal.
That's terrific. Sounds like that will really expand your ability to serve the people that you're serving, and a great addition for the men. But what about women and children? Are there plans in place to expand that capacity as well?
Yes, absolutely. Right now we have 26 beds for single women in our women and children's shelter and 4 family rooms. And it's not nearly enough. Every day we have to turn away women and families. During a 3-month period this past year, we had to turn away, I think it was 178 single women, 97 families with well over 140 children. Wow. And it was very hard on our staff, and it's hard, of course, on the people that we're having to turn away. Sometimes we'll have to put people up in hotels. We do what we can to help them, but we just don't have the space. So when the men move into the newer building hopefully in April, The women and families will move into the building the men now occupy, more than doubling capacity for women and families. So we're very excited about that.
Yeah, that is exciting. That's terrific. We all know that funding is a critical component in keeping the Union Mission up and running. How does that work?
Well, and the mission's been around since 1892, and in all those years, we've never received any state or federal funding. We're totally supported by the generosity of the community, individuals, churches, businesses, and others who help us do what we do. So donations are very important to us. And for instance, we can feed a person and care for them for as little as $1.98 a person.
Wow.
So if someone were to donate, $19.80, they could care for 10 people. So, but we depend on those donations, whether it's financial donations or donations of things like blankets and clothing and socks and underwear and toiletries, all those types of things.
Sounds like a little bit can really go a long way.
It sure can.
In terms of helping you. Are there other ways that people can get involved with the mission?
Yes, they can volunteer their time. We have lots of volunteer opportunities throughout our ministry. They can support us monthly. A monthly donation means so much to us because we know we can count on that money as it comes in, and so we can plan ahead and make the plans to expand the programs and things we do. So, by donating all of those things or financially or volunteering your time, would be a great way to help.
You mentioned to me earlier some of the volunteer roles that people can serve. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we have all different kinds of ways to serve. We have people that, when people give us donations of clothing and household goods and things like that, especially the clothing area, we need people to help us sort them and tag them and put them in the different sizes. And what we do is when someone donates to us, the first thing we do is see where we can use it in our ministry. So if you donated clothing to us, it would go to the people in our shelters first. And then when those people get their own apartments, we help them with household goods and furniture and so they can start out to set up their household. And then in addition to that, we do a lot for the people in the community. So when people in the community come to us almost daily looking for food, clothing, furniture, that kind of thing, we give them vouchers to go into our store and they get those items for free. And so when we sell those items in the store, one of the things that we do is we manage our own stores, and some other thrift stores don't manage their own, so they have to hire a management company. And so part of the profit goes to the management company. But because we manage our own stores, 100% of the proceeds comes back into the ministry to help us do what we do. Other opportunities, as you were talking about, of course, this time of year it's a little cold, but we use a lot of people to help us with landscaping, with helping out in the kitchen. We have groups or churches or businesses that might come in and provide a meal. In the summertime, they'll do cookouts for our people. That's a way to volunteer, or just helping us clean. All different types of ways that people can get involved. They can do some of the programs I mentioned earlier. A lot of that is done by volunteers, whether it's teaching a Bible study or teaching a class on mentoring or helping out with computer skills, that kind of thing.
So it sounds like there are lots of opportunities for the community to really get engaged and help you.
Yes.
I would love to hear more, but we thank you so much for being here with us today, and really thank you for everything that you do to serve those in need in our community. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having me on the show today.
Coming up, the USO enhances the quality of life for armed service members and their families right here in Hampton Roads. Find out about the Adopt a Service Person program and other important USO services. Stay tuned for more Cox Connections.